So today I'll be talking about sleeping habits in individuals with ASD or autism spectrum disorder. We'll begin at looking at some statistics about sleeping. A 2019 study found 80% of preschoolers with ASD have disrupted sleep. In contrast, 1 to 16% of their typically developing peers struggle to fall or stay asleep. Individuals with ASD spend about 15% of their sleeping time in the REM stage compared to 23% in typically developing peers. So what is that REM stage? That REM stage is also the rapid eye movement. And during this cycle of sleep, your eyes move rapidly in a range of directions, but does not send any information to the brain. This cycle is crucial for normal brain development, as well as processing fears and emotions. And it also serves multiple functions, including energy conservation, brain growth, memory, and cognition. Recent research suggests that inefficient sleep can intensify some core ASD symptoms, including repetitive behaviors, social deficits, communication difficulties, and maladaptive behaviors such as aggression. However, the relationship between sleep profiles and behavior is limited, but evidence does show there is some correlation. Individuals with ASD typically take an average of 11 more minutes to fall asleep than their typically developing peers as well. Some commonly reported sleep issues include difficulty falling asleep, restless sleep, unwillingness to fall asleep in own bed, frequent waking during the night, or early waking. So as you can see, not only is it impacting the individual with ASD, but it probably also impacts the family and puts stress on them during that nighttime routines. Some factors affecting sleep can include genetics. So individuals with ASD are more likely to carry alterations in genes that regulate the sleep-awake cycle. Another factor may be sensory sensitivities. They may be hyper aware of sounds or light in their room. Also, studies show that levels of melatonin may be differing for individuals with ASD, where they have elevated daytime levels and significantly less nocturnal melatonin levels at night. So that's a big factor in being able to fall asleep. Other factors may include having other illnesses or disorders, including ADHD, where they have a higher level of arousal and hyperactivity. Medications may impact the ability to fall asleep or stay asleep. And also if they have seizures or epilepsy, that impacts sleeping as well. Also, the circadian rhythm may also be another factor. Research suggests that their circadian rhythm is developed differently in individuals with ASD. So the circadian rhythm is developed between 12 and 16 weeks of birth, and it requires environmental cues of the 24-hour day to synchronize with the internal biological clock to the external time cues. So when we know that it's light out, it's time to wake up, and then when it's dark out, it's time to go to bed. However, those individuals with ASD may not be able to interpret those environmental cues and changes that may impact sleep. Also, another factor may be just decreased sensitivity to social cues. This may mean not acknowledging that their siblings are starting to wind down for the night and maybe brushing teeth, and they just may not interpret that cue. That's also time for them to be ready to go to bed. So I know when I don't sleep well, I feel tired the next day. I may not pay attention very well, that I may be more emotional or lethargic, and I just don't feel very good. So in typical development, sleep disruption can produce emotional and behavioral problems, which may include internalizing and externalizing symptoms. So how you interpret and then you transmit how you're feeling. Sleep disturbances can impact your health, your behavior, attention, cognition, and even school performance. And as I said earlier, sleep problems are found to intensify some ASD symptoms, and there's a relation to social skill deficits. So individuals with ASD may have trouble paying attention, they may feel restless or angry, they may display some behaviors, or they might just have low energy. So what can we do to help? We can create some sleep strategies. So establishing routines would be great for an individual with ASD and keeping it consistent every day. This may include having breakfast, lunch, and dinner at similar times, if not the same time. So they're promoting that wake cycle. And then after dinner or supper, then it's a consistent routine of putting on pajamas, brushing teeth, going to the bathroom, reading a book, and just establishing a set routine may be very beneficial for an individual with ASD. Creating a bedtime habit, looking at the setting. So what does the room look like? Is there lights that are affecting the individual when they're trying to go to sleep? Is the room too hot? Is it too cold? Just looking at the overall setting of where the individual will sleep. And also sensory adjustment, so making sure that there's not extra noises or even toys or objects that may be around them that may impact their ability to fall asleep. And also limiting screen time would also be another good idea before bed. So that blue light that is emitted from electronic devices can cause difficulty sleeping. So try to limit the use of electronics at night and make sure that screens are off at least in an hour before bedtime, and that may improve that individual's ability to sleep. Also, some other suggestions would be to nap wisely, exercise, avoid stimulants or caffeine. And once again, just checking the environment, making sure that that room is dark and cool and that any disruptive sounds nearby are being turned off, or just any way that can help to prevent that. Also, deep pressure stimulation helps the nervous system to relax. So just gentle squeezes along the arm or anywhere that's preferred by that individual just may help them wind down for the night as well. And also weighted blankets has been shown to be helpful, as well as having a comfort item or light therapy to help promote that circadian rhythm. So here is an example of a visual schedule that would be beneficial to help establish that routine for bedtime, and being able to see it visually. That individual with ASD can look and go through the schedule as they're getting ready to sleep. So make sure the routine is calming, short, predictable, and expected, and keeping it consistent. So here's my takeaway. So the Autism Treatment Network provides strategies to improve sleep in children with autism, as well as for teens. And there's further readings at the bottom of the page. And on this bookmark on the side, there is just reminders how to create a good sleeping habit. So establishing routines, creating bedtime habits, and looking at the sensory adjustments if needed. And at the bottom, there's that link to looking at more strategies. And that is all I have about sleeping habits in individuals with ASD. Thanks for watching.